Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us today for this exclusive webinar with First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University. In today's 1 hour during the webinar, the first 30 minutes we will be discussing about the university, and in the later part we'll be having a Q&A session where students and parents will be able to type in your questions in the Q&A box below and we'll be answering them. Today we have Ms. Susanna and Dr. Ethan Brisman from Charles University First Faculty of Medicine. Over to you, please.
All right, Zahra, thank you very much for giving us the world. I want to welcome everyone here for the webinar. I can see a high number of participants, so it's really exciting to have you here all. My name is Susanna. I'm the head of the international office here at the First Faculty of Medicine. And probably I will just give a brief word to Dr. Brisman, the Vice Dean for International Studies. Afterwards, we will jump to our brief presentation about the medical studies. Dr. Brisman, the floor is yours if you want to say a few words.
Good afternoon, Dr. Brisman.
Thank you very much, everybody. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi connection is a little bit dodgy at the moment, but good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for attending and for joining us here on behalf of the First Faculty of Medicine. Ms. Nikova is going to give a presentation about the faculty, and then afterwards, as she said, we'll have some Q&A, question and answers. There's one very important rule that you must all be aware of. The first rule is all questions are good questions. There is no such thing as a silly question. They do not exist. Please, all questions are good questions. If you're thinking about a question, please be brave enough to ask it, because undoubtedly someone else is thinking about the same question. They may just not be as brave as you to ask the question. So we're here to answer questions. We're here to tell you about Prague, about First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University, and I'll stick around for the Q&A so I can be here to answer as many questions as I can from the faculty perspective. All right, Ms. Hanikova, floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so I will just share my presentation. Please give me a moment to do so. Okay, now we should be working, and I believe that you can see it now perfectly. All right, so once again, welcome to the webinar about the First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University. It's really our pleasure to welcome you here. What we're going to talk about now, let's say in about next 20 minutes, it's about Charles University, about Prague, about Czech Republic, and of course about the First Faculty of Medicine. So we want to introduce you the study programs that we offer. We want to briefly guide you through the application and through the admission process and why you should decide to study with us and why we are the great choice for medicine or dentistry or even more. So let me please allow to start with a brief description where we are located and where you can find us. So First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University, we are located in Czech Republic, also called Czechia. If you look at the map, you will find us in a very heart of Europe, and we are surrounded by Germany, Poland, Slovakia, and Austria. Czech Republic, it's a small country. We have a little bit more than 10 million inhabitants, and it's really a lovely country to live in. Our capital city is the city of Prague. I believe that maybe some of you already been here or you are planning to visit in the upcoming months and years. In Prague, it's really great that you can rely on affordable living costs compared to other countries. There is also a lot of greenery. Prague is really international and really safe city to live in. So even though you are coming here as a foreigner, as an international student, you're going to feel welcome and safe here. And as I said, Prague, it's really international. And a lot of the international students and expats are coming to live in Prague and start their lives here. Prague is also the home of Charles University. So in Prague, you may find 14 of our faculties at Charles University, and First Faculty of Medicine, it's one of them. If we have a look at the Charles University, I hope that you already heard about us. We are one of the oldest universities in the world. As you can see, we were founded in the 14th century, and the first Faculty of Medicine was one of the founding faculties back at that time. Originally, there were 4 faculties. Nowadays, we have 17 faculties located in 3 cities. As I said, most of them are located in Prague, but few of the faculties are also located outside of Prague. Charles University, it's a public university. We are ranked among the top 2% of universities worldwide. And for example, if you look at the recent QS ranking for 2024, we are in the top 250 universities worldwide. At Charles University, we have almost 50,000 students studying with us, including about 10,000 international students from more than 130 countries. For the first Faculty of Medicine, we are also quite a big faculty. We have about 4,000 undergraduate students studying with us, and also about 800 international students studying medicine and dentistry in English. And of course, we have also a large number of teaching staff. If you look at the ratio, you can see that it's really good when we compare the number of students and the number of teaching staff that we have for them. I can say, for my perspective, that one of the reasons why I decided to study at Charles University, because I also studied here in the past, it's the international environment and the opportunities that you can find in Prague. If we have a closer look at the first Faculty of Medicine, we are really proud of our tradition. We are really proud of our ranking, recognition, and research. I already mentioned that Charles University is one of the oldest universities. The same is correct for the first Faculty of Medicine, as we belong to the oldest medical schools in the world. I already mentioned the university ranking. For the medical ranking, I can say that we are doing even better. So we are ranked top 1% of all medical schools globally. I believe that's because you are probably thinking about studying at the first Faculty of Medicine or considering that you're going to apply. Really important for you, it's the recognition of the degree that you're going to receive with us. So of course, the degree it's fully recognized in the EU. And we are also really proud of our full registration in the UK and recognition in the United States of all 50 states in the US. And our students who are US citizens may also use the opportunities such as US Federal Loan Scheme or GI Bill, which is intended for US veterans. So you can see that because we have the possibility to use this high profile finance options, that we are really strongly recognized even in the US. And last but not least is the research. Charles University is a research-based university. We are really proud of our on-campus teaching hospital, and also our students may use research possibilities even during the studies in of course, modern and reconstructed facilities. And just to add a few more highlights about the first Faculty of Medicine, I want to mention the great student community, which is full of international students, but also local students, and they really stick together. So I think that is amazing. I want to highlight our simulation education, which is also really important. I want to highlight the stays abroad and the opportunities of the exchange programs that you have during your studies. And also, we are really proud of our USMLE training and the high success rate that we have in the past years. Every year, the passing rate is about 95% or even higher for some years when it comes to step 1 and step 2 in the USMLE, which is the licensing exam for the United States. And that's the destination where our graduates often go to after graduation at the first Faculty of Medicine. Now let's move to the study programs that we offer in English. Once again, I want to encourage you to ask any questions that you may have about first Faculty of Medicine and the studies with us. Here in the presentation, you can see the mainly study programs that we offer, which is medicine, dentistry, and also PhD programs in English. When it comes to medicine, it's important to say that it's a 6-year program. It's already a master degree. And if you are planning to apply for dentistry, it's also a master degree and it's a 5-year program. Okay, so this is just necessary to realize when thinking about studying medicine and dentistry, that medicine it's for 6 years and dentistry it's for 5 years. I also want to highlight a new program that we are opening from the next academic year. It's a master degree in addictology. So if you have some family members or friends or even yourself, if you are thinking about getting into addictology, this is the study program that we're going to be opening fully in English in the upcoming year. Now, when it comes to the application and tuition fees, I want to highlight that if you are planning to apply for the academic year 2024-2025, the application deadline is the end of April. Okay, so bear in mind that you need to apply by the time. But if you are going to apply with Quadri International, I believe that they're already collecting the documentation and the details for the application. So you may even apply with them at this moment. And so how you apply, you often do it through our partners abroad. I already mentioned Quadri International, so you can do it through them. You submit the documents, you pay the application fee, and you get ready for the entrance exam, which I will describe shortly. If you are looking for some preparatory courses, it's also possible. I can mention King Charles College. I know that they also collaborate with Quadri International, so it's also an option if you are looking for preparation for the entrance exam and for the medical studies. When it comes to the tuition fees, I want to say that I'm sorry, there is a small mistake in the presentation, that for the academic year 2024-2025, the tuition fee is set for 600,000 Czech crowns. So it will be for the studies starting next year, 600,000 Czech crowns, which is approximately currently 26,000 USD dollars or 24,000 euros if you want to say. I believe that you are definitely probably wondering about scholarship opportunities. I want to highlight that from the second year of your studies, our students are eligible for the merit-based scholarship. It means that it's a scholarship based on your university grades. Well, that's why we offer it from the second year. Usually top 10% of our students receive it. And I can also confirm that there are some funding options from various governments that it's in place for the funding options. Now, when it comes to the entrance exam, I just will briefly go through the process, but you will definitely find this information on our website soon. We are currently updating the information for the upcoming academic year 2024-2025. So please bear with us for more information. But when it comes to the entrance exam, it has two main parts. First, you will do a written test, which is a test from biology, chemistry, and physics. All these three subjects are represented in the exam. So it's biology, chemistry, and physics. I'm sure that there's definitely going to be a question if there is a possibility for math instead of physics. I'm sorry to confirm that physics, it's a mandatory part of the entrance exam, as we believe it's a essential knowledge for medical and dentistry students in the future. Regarding the written test, it's a single best answer, but you are selecting the right option from multiple choice, and there is only positive marking. And I can confirm that with Quadra International, we are planning to do the written exams in Dubai. We are currently setting the dates, so please stay tuned once we have them confirmed. And then if you successfully pass the written test, you will be invited to sit an interview, so-called oral exam. The interviews will be conducted online shortly after you pass the written test. And interviews are based on multiple mini interviews. We call them so-called MMIs. And the MMIs are more about your communication skills. We want to see if you are a great fit to be a doctor, if you are a great fit to be a medical student or dentistry student at our university. So that's what we are testing in the MMIs. And then if you successfully pass the MMIs, you are admitted for the first faculty of medicine, Charles University. I also want to highlight that one of the conditions or criteria to be successfully admitted and to be able to enroll is to complete your secondary education and have your high school certificate and diploma. The completion of the high school, it's not necessary before the entrance exam. You usually submit your high school diploma and all the documents with it after you are accepted, usually during like July or August, you are submitting these documents. I can see that the questions are popping in, so I will shortly finish my presentation, so we can get to it. Here, I just want to highlight the academic year, so you can have a look at the courses that you will be taking during your studies. So you can see that you start with the basics, with anatomy and histology and biophysics in your first year, and then you continue with other subjects. At Charles University, we follow the traditional curriculum of teaching medicine. So it means that you have preclinical years and clinical years. So clinical years are the last 3 years of your education, and the preclinical years are first 3 years of your education. And as I already said at the beginning, the studies last for 6 years. When it comes to the academic year, it's divided into 2 semesters. So your year will always have like 2 main parts, 2 semesters. And if you are wondering when we start with the school, we always start in the first week of October. So for example, on Monday, on the 2nd of October, our new students and everybody else is starting their studying, and it will be similar for next year. Yeah, so let's move on. Yeah, here's also the study plan for the dentistry. If we have any dentists here or somebody who is interested in dentistry, I'm just highlighting once again that dentistry, it's for 5 years. You can see here that at the beginning, the classes are, some of the classes are the same together with the medicine, but of course you have also many other dentistry courses. You start with the preclinical and preventive dentistry, and with the materials in dentistry, and then you move to other subjects to be able to become a dentist. For dentists, I want to highlight that there is a little difference when it comes to clinical years and access to the patients. For the dentistry, you will be already seeing patients from year 2. So you will have a great hands-on experience, and you will be already working with patients early on from the 2nd year throughout your 5th year of dentistry studies. Just briefly mentioning simulation education, which I already mentioned before. We have a high technology simulation center available at the First Faculty of Medicine. Here you can see just a few pics from the simulation and also from our dentistry clinic. So you will definitely have access to it already from the 1st year, and you will start your training there. And now let's briefly go to living costs and support and living in Prague. You and students and parents, you are often wondering what are the approximate living costs here in Prague, in Czechia. So I want to say that the average living costs are approximately 8,000 euros per year. It means that it includes the university accommodation in the dormitory, which is usually the most affordable accommodation that you can have, and the basic public transportation, the food. It's like the basic package when it comes to average living costs. Of course, that your living costs may vary. If you decide for a private accommodation, it might be more when it comes to the living costs. I just want to briefly mention the student life and the support. You should definitely hear about or get in touch with our student organization MEDSOC, which is a group of our international students who are here to help you, to newly come international students at our faculty. They do a lot of different events, from culture, sport, to educational events, to educational workshops. So you should definitely get in touch with them if you are planning to come here. And of course, that also we offer support to our students. So even though if you are going through some hard time, you need someone to talk to, I can mention that we, of course, offer counseling. And when it comes to accommodation in our dormitories, it's guaranteed for all international students in the first year. So you don't have to worry about accommodation. If you want to stay in the dormitory when you are studying at the first Faculty of Medicine, we can guarantee it for you and we can book the place for you. You don't have to worry about that. And just really briefly, here you can find our contact information, our email address, admissions@lf1.cuni.cz, and also our social media if you want to find out more. And once again, I want to highlight that you can already apply and submit the documents with Quadri International. And on our website, you will shortly find up-to-date information for the entrance examination and for the admission procedure for the academic year 2024-2025. So this was just really briefly the presentation. I can see here that there's a lot of the questions. So I will leave it to Zahara probably if you want to moderate the questions, so we have enough time to answer them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Anna, for that presentation. I think it covered everything in detail. We have a lot of questions pouring in now, so let's begin with the Q&A session. Once again, students, if you have any questions, you can type it in the Q&A box below. Starting with the first question by Mohammed Hassan. He wants to know, can you please tell what differentiates your university from others?
All right, that's a really excellent question. I believe that in my presentation, I summarized a few of the reasons why you should study with us. I will highlight them once more, and then I will give the floor to Dr. Brisman just to also tell it briefly from his perspective. For me, it's the student community, the ranking of the university, the recognition abroad, and overall, I would say the excellent quality of education that you're gonna get. And so these are the highlights for me.
Can I just add one more thing, that the graduate of these universities as of now do not have to take any kind of exam in UK. That means they are exempted from PLAB, which not every university has this kind of advantage. So you see, it is approved by this GMC, and GMC see that the quality of this university is very high, that the students do not have to take PLAB examination as of now. That's going to change next year, but as of now, they don't need to take PLAB examination. So this is one of the things which I think very few universities in the world have this kind of the advantage. No, am I right, Dr. Brisman? Can you Can you go ahead and explain more?
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Quadri. It's lovely to hear your voice. And thank you also for inviting me today. You are absolutely right. So our degree is recognized across the globe. As Ms. Hanikova said, we are recognized, we are accredited in all 50 states of the US. We are one of only 20 medical schools outside of the US to have Californian state accreditation. 3 years ago, our USMLE results were 100% pass on first attempt. 2 years ago was 94%. Last year was 96.2%. To put that into perspective, Harvard University averaged at 93%. So we beat the Americans at their own game for the USMLE. That's why we have such high ranking. And in fact, we're ranked one of the best clinical educators in the world. I don't remember the number, the ranking was something like the top 20 in the world for clinical education. As Dr. Qadri said, all our students, irregardless of what your citizenship is, you gain, even after Brexit, automatic full registration in the UK, whether it's medicine or dentistry, whichever one you're studying, you get full registration in the UK, which means you go straight to the F2 year. You don't have to do the FY1 year. On my last discussions with the UK government and with the GMC, that's not planned to be changed in the near future at all. There are other countries as well which we have recognition with. Not only that, we work very hard to make relationships. We have a network, a global network of hospitals where we enable you to do some of your clinical rotations in the country and the language in which you wish to work upon graduation. This is vital. If you want to stay in Czech Republic, and a number of our international students do stay in Czech Republic, then of course you can stay and do all your clinical rotations in Prague. However, I recommend just for your own experience that you get some time, a clinical rotation or two, outside in another way, another country, another system. So you learn other ways of doing things. And we enable you and help you to do that. We have, I think, the largest number of Erasmus, the European exchange system for student mobility in the medical field, coming through our doors. So we'll actively encourage you to do electives abroad. We have direct relationships with numerous facilities across the globe. Even in the UAE, we're working very hard on relationships. We have with a relationship already with Al Ain University Medical School, and we have already students exchange with University of Al Ain. We are at the final stages, and should start hopefully later on this year with Khalifa University in Abu Dhabi. And we're working also in relation with Mohammed bin Rashid University to create a relationship with them for you to be able to do exchanges back home in the UAE, if that's where you're from. Otherwise, people ask about the differences and why to choose one. It's going to be your personal preference, really. Prague is a very safe city. It's a wonderful city that you can live in absolute safety. It's totally open and freedom to be whomever you want, do whatever you want. So for student life, it is wonderful. It's not an expensive city. But I think, as Ms. Hanikova said very eloquently, the student body, the student support you'll get, as well as from the faculty, are second to none, really. I've tried to answer a lot of questions as well whilst Ms. Hanikova was giving her presentation, but if I hand back to Zahara, please feel free to feed us more questions.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Bisman. Thank you, Mrs. Anna. Moving on to the next question. Malik wants to know what is the difference between the first and second faculty of CHALS, as in QS as well, there's a collective ranking of CHALS.
Yes, if I may just briefly for the overall the QS of Charles University, yes, you will find the overall number for the QS of Charles University. That's where we are in the top 250. You may then also be able to select the medical field, where I said where we are doing even better than that. But yes, in the ranking, you cannot distinguish enough the individual faculties, because we are seen as one university from the medical perspective. When it comes to the differences with the second faculty, overall at Charles University, we have 5 medical faculties. 3 of them are located in Prague, 2 of them are located outside of Prague. When you compare the second faculty, we are really similar when it comes to the way of teaching. Some courses are even shared. There is a difference in the size, the location, and of course the teachers that will be teaching you. I also want to highlight that there is a separate admission process and separate entrance exam for each faculty if you will apply to more than one. So then of course if you submit an application to more than one, then you may have a higher chances to be accepted to more than one.
Okay. Moving on to the
Excuse me,
next question. Yeah.
Can I just add one thing about the thing? Yes, Charles University is a system. It's just like University of London. University of London has got approximately 20 plus universities, and some of them are very high ranking, like Imperial College, King's College, UCL, and some of them are okay, like Queen Mary is okay. Yes, it's a good university, but you know, everybody knows which one is better. So Charles University first faculty is a brand name now. Everybody knows that okay, I'm a graduate of first faculty or a second faculty or this, no. So first faculty is considered to be the best one, no. Same like in Imperial College, UCL or this. Yes, come go ahead, please. Next question, please.
We have a very close relationship with Oxford University, with Cambridge University, and with our history. As Mr. Nikova said in our presentation, we date back as one of the 4 original faculties from 1348. So first faculty is 675 years old. All the faculties at Charles University are excellent, but it's like Oxford and Cambridge University, which are a similar age of university. And as Dr. Kadri said, they are different sister faculties of Charles University. They're different colleges in Oxford, Cambridge, or University of London. You'll get a great education. All of them, apply for all of them. We are very stringent. We are the largest and we have the highest research output. If you are able to get into the differentiation of rankings, we have much higher research output because we're a much larger facility. However, we maintain a ratio of 1 to 3. So one teacher for every 3 students, because we are larger, we also have far more teachers as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to the next question. Arif wants to know what are the residency options after MD degree study at Charles University?
Residency options are individual for the student. Residency is what you want to specialize in. So because of the quality of the degree, you can work anywhere in the world and in any speciality you want in the world. So as for residency options, it's up to you individually where you want to work in the world or what specialty you want to work in the world. But the degrees from our faculty enable you to do whatever you want, whatever specialty you want, and anywhere in the world.
Okay, then Shahad wants to know the minimum requirements to pass the entrance exam and the MMI interviews.
Do the best you can. That's what you need to do. Don't worry about scores. Don't look at results and scores. Everything will be published, and you'll see very transparent what everything is. For now, what you need to work on is not what's the minimum. You need to work on getting the maximum. So aim for 100%. Don't look at what is the minimum required. You aim for 100%. Go for the best. If you aim for the top, you'll reach somewhere near there. If you aim for the bottom, you risk not getting there.
Okay. Then the next question is by Bilal. They want to know if they can do the entrance exam if they're in grade 11.
Theoretically, yes. You could do the exam if you're in your diapers still from nursery school, but you can only take the admissions exam once per academic year, the admissions procedure, I should say, once per academic year. So, and the admissions procedure is only valid for the year that you are taking it in. So if you're in year 11, and that means you won't have fulfilled your high school education, completed your high school education, then it's just a practice exam for you to know how difficult it is to be expected from you for the following year, because you'll still need to take it again the following year once you've finished all your high school education. So anyone can take the exam. You pay the administrative costs for the exam, which is about $250, I think. Sit the exam with country organization in Dubai, and you can try it. But to be able to be accepted, you must complete your high school education. Now, let me just clarify on this, because Mr. Nikova spoke about it as well. We do not specify grades. We do not specify grades for your A-levels, for your IB, or for whichever system you take. We have almost 100 different countries represented in our undergraduate student body. You know, we have 800 students in our international course of medicine and dentistry in our faculty. So we do not specify grades because it's impossible to say what is exactly 3 A's at A level is equivalent as what 41 points, 42 points at IB is equivalent to what in the SATs and the Abitur in Germany and every system around the world. So we like to be fair. And to be fair, what we ask for is that you complete your high school education, you get the best grades as you can, but you pass our admissions procedure, which includes the written exam, as Ms. Anikova said, the biology, chemistry, physics, multiple choice, single best answer papers. There is the personal statement that you must submit, and then there's the interviews, the multiple mini interviews that you'll take online, live online from home, or you can come to Prague and do it in Prague. But as long as you pass our admissions procedure and you've completed your high school education, we're happy.
Okay, can I just add, actually, because I can see a lot of questions, asking the same thing. I just want to clarify that if you are in any system, American, British, IB, CBSE, whatever, we just need a high school diploma. We don't need any SAT, no IP, no APs, nothing, no IELTS, no TOEFL. Everything will be there during the entrance examination, because I can see a lot of questions are, asking the same thing. So, and we don't care about the grades. If you get 99.9% in your high school, if you get 3A star, and if you don't pass, the entrance examination will not accept you. If you get C, D, or whatever there, but you pass the entrance examination, as long as you don't get U or you don't get fail, will accept you. So grade is not the requirement, unlike in other countries. In UK, this one that you get a conditional admission, that in August you will know exactly that whether you will be in or not. No. So as long as you pass the entrance examination, you are in 99.9% subject to the condition that you pass your high school, which I don't think so that you will fail after passing the entrance examination. So entrance examination is the key. If you pass the exam, you are in. So please do not consider that we require any grade or this one, or we require SAT or APs or nothing. It's nothing. So just a high school diploma and just to pass the entrance examination. Thank you. Next question.
That's absolutely right. Just to confirm, please don't think that our entrance exam is easy. There are 9 or 10 to 1 applicants per each place available. We aim to take 150 medical students and 40 dentistry students per year into our first year. The competition for dentistry is not 8 or 9 to 1, it's more like 4 to 5 to 1 for dentistry, but for medicine it's about 9 to 1 applicant per place available last year. So it's not an easy admissions procedure, and the level at which you're required to know the knowledge for the written paper is set as an A-level standard. So to getting A levels, if you're be able to get A's at A levels, you should be able to pass our admissions procedure. I strongly advise you to do preparation. Many people haven't done physics. Physics is a vital part of medicine. We use it every single day in medical practice. I myself am dual qualified in both medicine and dentistry. I did medicine here in Prague at First Faculty when I had hair, maybe in those days. And dentistry I did at King's College in London. And I'm a head, neck and face surgeon. I use physics every single day of my clinical life. So it's really important to know physics for medicine, to understand the principle of physics for medicine. If you are not up to standard, or you fear, or maybe if you're wise, you should do some preparation. And there are preparation courses run by our Institute of Language and Preparation called UIOP, and by King Charles College. King Charles College work in conjunction with UIOP. So speak to the Qadri organization. They'll tell you about these preparation courses. They can help guide you for them. The courses can be done online, live online. They can also be done in person. There's some even in Prague here. But the more preparation you do, the better chances you have of passing. So just to confirm, we do not specify grades for high school. You must pass your high school exams. You must complete your high school education, and then you must pass our admissions procedure.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Hakim. They want to know, is learning the Czech language compulsory?
Very much so. You're coming to this country. We are guests in this country. I'm British myself. I'm a guest here. And it is important that we learn their culture, their language, and it aids us for communication with the local patients. Unfortunately, most people in Prague and probably in Czech Republic speak English. I say unfortunately because you then get to be lazy and you don't practice your Czech. We will teach you in the first 3 years, you will have Czech lessons throughout the first 3 years. And we're arranging even a preparation course for you when you're accepted to the faculty, that 2 weeks before starting the course, the official course begins, we'll give you an intensive 2 weeks of Czech language. But for the first 3 years, there'll be compulsory lessons of Czech, which we'll provide to you. After that, learning Czech is not compulsory, but I strongly advise practicing Czech, because I feel that if I'm talking to a patient who is ill in their own country, then we should communicate with them in their own language. It's unfair to them that when they're ill, in pain, or any other problems, to expect them to speak English with us. Saying that, if your Czech is not up to standard, which is a rarity, by that point, there is always, in all 6 years, there is always someone available to translate, a doctor or some other member of staff will be there to translate for you if for some reason the patient cannot speak English or you don't speak good enough Czech. And as I said earlier, we recommend and we will encourage you to do clinical electives or some of your clinical electives abroad in the country where you wish to work upon graduation, so you also practice communication skills and the colloquial language, colloquial terminology in the language, healthcare system, environment in which you wish to work after graduation. So that when you graduate, you will hit the ground running. You'll be seen as an efficient, safe doctor from day one upon graduation.
Thank you, Dr. Brisman. Moving on to the next question, we have a couple of them about the internships. So let's just clear this up as well. Do you have internships, and is there a mandatory clinical training after the medical graduation?
So internships, there can be sometimes a little bit of misinterpretation about what internship is. Some people see it as, understand it to be what postgraduate. So your internships in different specialities once you've already graduated, when you're working. Some people are asking about the clinical rotations as an undergraduate. So you will start meeting patients and being on the wards from year one. And you'll also start with our high-tech simulation center, medical simulation center, which is brilliant because these mannequins are just phenomenal. They move, they talk, they blink. You can feel their pulses. You can do things to them. There's a gynecology one, obstetrics one, where you can actually do ultrasound on the abdomen with different sort of fetal positions. The mannequin gives birth. You can do episiotomy training and all sorts of things. Just phenomenal. I think that costs almost $500,000, that one mannequin. From the third year, you'll be doing subjects like introduction to internal medicine, introduction to surgery on the wards. From the fourth year, you'll be doing clinical rotations. And from, I think, halfway through the fourth year, it's only clinical rotations. So fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, all you're doing is clinical rotations in all the every different specialty of medicine. So if that's what you mean by internships, for instance, the UK system, why you get automatic full registration in the UK is because they count that you've done the FY1 year already as an undergraduate at our faculty. So that's why you missed the FY1 year when you graduate from our faculty if you want to go to the UK, and you go straight to the F2 year. Residency is dependent upon the country you go to. It's a specialty you want to choose a residency in. So residency, again, it changes from system. So in the UK, your internship is postgraduate, and you're doing still rotations as a doctor, graduate doctor in different specialties. And your residency training, as in the American terminology of residency, is when you've chosen which specialty you want to go into and you just do your training in that. So the British system works, you don't do that until later on, a few years into your career. In other countries, like in, let's say, Germany or Czech Republic, you immediately post-graduation, you go into residency training. So you choose at graduation, you choose what specialty you want to go into, and you get a job in let's say my specialty, the best specialty, the head, neck and face surgery, and you do 5-7 years of residency training, where within that you'll also get times to go out to other specialties to get experience. But the terminology is not synonymous between the different healthcare systems or education systems across the globe.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Ali wants to know, all the academic fees has to be paid in advance or semester-wise?
Brilliant question. We have, as Mr. Nikova said, we have with various governments, there is sponsorship. A number of governments give up to full sponsorship, 100% sponsorship to their students. With, I think, the majority of you come from UAE in this webinar, and the UAE government does not yet give full sponsorship to its students. There are other negotiations. The Omani government contacted us. They want to give full sponsorship to their students, and we're in negotiation with Qatar for similar from your region. Their installment payments are possible, and a student can individually apply for the ability to pay in installments.
All right, moving on to the next question by Farida. They're saying that they're residing in Qatar, so to attend the test, should they come over here to do it?
It depends upon your ability. The dates for the exams have not been finalized yet this year. So the application system on the university side, our faculty side, will open in December, beginning of December. Mr. Nikova will correct me if I'm wrong. But you can already now start giving your details to the Qadri organization. They'll start collecting them for you, they'll help you with the application system with the faculty. And we'll publish then, the exams will run all the way from, I think the first exam will be in January, and the possibilities for exams across the globe will be up until June, July. So if there is enough interest, for the written exam, we need to send out academics from the faculty to oversee the written exam because it's done in specific locations. So if there's enough interest from Qatar, then I'm very happy to send out our staff to Qatar. The interviews are all done online, so it doesn't matter for the interviews, you'll do those online. The other option is you can also fly to Prague, do the exam in Prague, or of course Dubai. We have a very long term experience. We have, I think, more than a decade experience with Dr. Qadri and Qadri International, who provide excellent service for their students. I very highly recommend it. So you're also welcome to the exam in Dubai or any other location in the world that we have for the exam. The Qadri organization will be able to guide you best on those possibilities.
Thank you. Can I just add, one thing? As of now, you have got two options. Either you come to Dubai or go to Prague. For Qatar and other countries, we have not yet planned it. No, we'll see the status. If there are more and more applications, then we may go to Qatar, we may go to Pakistan, we may go somewhere else. But it depends on the numbers there. But as of now, the first examination will be held probably on January 27. This is the tentative date which we have, and the next exam will be in third week of April. No, and please make sure that you have to apply as soon as possible and complete the process as soon as possible, because the visa process may take between 3 to 6 months now. So if you wait, that's why we don't want to conduct any entrance examination after April, because then you will be late for the you'll be late for the visa. So please apply as soon as possible and start your process. Otherwise, you might miss the semester now. Thank you.
That's a really important point. Thank you, Dr. Qadri, for bringing that up. We, the faculty of the university, have nothing to do with the visa process. We can't help you with it. We can't do anything with it. That is up to you to get it sorted. And it's the Ministry of Interior of the government, not even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So you will need to arrange the appointments with the embassy, the Czech embassy, local to you. There, basically, when you go to that appointment, you've got to make sure at that appointment, when you get it, and you've got to get that appointment early, you've got all your documents in line, everything they need done correctly. Otherwise, you're going to be a waste of appointment, and you don't know when you'll get the next appointment. From the point where it's submitted to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is basically at the embassy, they are unfortunately a glorified postal service in this respect. They transfer it to Prague, a diplomatic case, it goes to the Ministry of Interior. Even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has no influence over the Ministry of Interior, and they will take up to 3 months to get the paperwork done, to do all the checks about you, security checks, everything else. For that to then go back to then the embassy and then come to you. So the earlier you start your visa preparation, you get your criminal record done, you get all these bits and pieces, start looking into that now. Start looking into the details now. It's really, really important. And get your appointments early, get that visa. If you haven't got your visa, we can't accept you in Prague. The country won't accept you in past the border, so we can't teach you. And all this being a waste of time and money for you to do the entrance exams if you're not here by October.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. Safa wants to know from next year, what are the steps to join the UK FY2?
To join the UK FY2, you graduate from our faculty, apply to the GMC, that's it, and then apply for the jobs. Well, you probably apply for the jobs beforehand, actually. You'll be about, we hold an annual job fair, and hospitals from the UK and medical or dental conglomerates, the big, Bupa and My Dentist, they fly out to Prague and they literally fight over our graduates. We have numerous hospitals in the UK, like in Swindon, the Great Western, there is Plymouth University. In fact, even UCL Royal Free are asking for our students to do clinical rotations in their hospitals so they can persuade you to be choosing them to be employed by once you graduate. They're literally fighting over our graduates. It's an automatic full registration. All you do is apply to the GMC with your graduation papers, your diploma. You do the security checks and you've got registration. And if you've got the job, you begin at the beginning of August.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Alma wants to know, do you provide practical training in a simulator or on a real body?
What's a lovely question. Sorry, I think my Wi-Fi is playing up. What a brilliant question. Medical simulation is vital in this day and age of medical training. It does not replace bedside training. It is an adjunct. You use it alongside your medical education. The beauty of using a medical simulator is that we want you to make mistakes on the simulator. Do as much training as possible in medical simulation, make the mistakes on the mannequins, on the simulators, so that when you come to the bedside, you already know what you're doing. You'll be, with live human people, you won't make those mistakes because you'll be already practiced. You won't be scared. You won't be, in English we say, like a rabbit in the headlights. And you'll be able to be safe and efficient for your live patients. Medical simulation does not replace bedside training. We use it as an adjunct. We give you extra training on the simulators, even on weekends, even after hours, in holidays. We have extra courses. You'll start a little bit in your first year. It will be massively increased in your second year, and then you'll do that all the way through to the end. But the clinical rotations are clinical rotations at the bedside, on the wards, with real life patients. If you're in surgery operating, you're not operating on a mannequin, you're operating on a live human. But if you want to operate on a live human, you've got to have practice beforehand. You've got to be competent and safe. Put yourself in your patient's shoes. Would you like some novice who's never even held a scalpel before being the one cutting you open? Or would you like someone who's been practicing, knows what they're doing, is competent and safe to work on you?
Thank you for that. Moving on to the next question. Jawan wants to know, I think this was already discussed by Ms. Zana, but they still want to know, what is the percentage discount for the merit scholarship starting from year 2?
So 10% of all students, the top 10% of all students will receive a merit scholarship. We are in the current process of vastly increasing the number of scholarships and the amount of scholarship that will be given. So this year, there's already started discussion on some rather huge scholarships. This is quite a scoop because no one else knows about this and it's not really public information yet. But we're in preparation to give for those students who do well in their exams, who finish early with their exams, who do research, who do in the name of the faculty and publish them, who do sporting achievements or other achievements in the name of the faculty. All of these things will give ability to have significant scholarships. And if you do multiple of them, you can get really big discount on your tuition fees. I'm not at liberty to say any more than that right now, but it's very, very exciting. And it will be in place by the time that you guys will be starting this plan. So when we have it publishable, we'll tell you more of the details. But as of now, 10% of all students, the top 10% of all students in every year receive a merit scholarship.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Noman wants to know if you could brief them on the exchange program.
So exchange programs, we have, again, Mr. Nikolai is more of an expert about this than I am, but we have several options. We have Erasmus. Erasmus is a European Union funded organization system. That doesn't mean that you have to be a European Union citizen. That means you have to study in a European Union university. And that gives you the ability to do rotations half a year in another Erasmus program university. And there is, in our network, there's not just in Europe, but we have also Erasmus connections in various locations around the globe. I will admit I don't know enough details about this. Mr. Nicola is more the expert. The other options are what we call a free mover option, where, and the last one is the direct relationship contracts we have with various hospitals and universities. Mr. Nicola, can I ask you if you're able to give a little bit more information about these?
Oh, yes. So you basically said it. So the main study abroad options, it's usually Erasmus program within the European Union and few other countries that are part of the program. Also, we have some faculty and university agreements, and if there is no agreement, then a free mover program is in a place where you can also arrange it elsewhere. But then it's of course up to you, and it takes some time, and you need to do it in advance. But definitely there is an opportunity to study abroad. Of course, there are also many summer schools that you may attend. During your studies, during your summer holiday, you will be also asked to do summer clerkships as a medical student and dentistry student that our students often do back in their home country, or they go somewhere else to do them, and they are a compulsory part of the education. So yes, you will be an international student studying at the Charles University in Prague. And yes, you have even more options to study abroad, not just being in Prague, but also study abroad and study elsewhere.
In fact, when I was a medical student, I took part in what's called the IFMSA, the International Federation of Medical Student Associations. And this is a global organization where there's links with countries across all the globe. And I did 3-month elective in Amsterdam Vrije University Hospital of cardiothoracic surgery as students. That's another option. So Erasmus, IFMSA, direct contract, and free mover. A lot of our students we have a arrangement with AMO, American Medical Opportunities. So a lot of them do rotations in America for different hospitals and states of America during this day as well. But really, you need to look at where you want to go, where you want to work when you graduate, and do at least some clinical rotations in that country.
Okay, let's take the last 3 questions now. There's a couple questions about the IELTS examination as well. For example, Cynthia wants to know if the curriculum that she studies in is not in English and it's in Arabic, should they do an IELTS exam to be able to apply?
I love that you speak Arabic as well as English. This is excellent. The more languages a person knows, the better, and it makes us more able to speak to more patients. We do not have IELTS or Cambridge certification or anything else requirements for your English language knowledge. if you are able to understand and pass our written exam, to write a coherent, well-written personal statement of your interest of why you're choosing First Faculty of Medicine, and you're able to pass our MMI, that proves to us that you have good enough English, especially in the MMI, the interview stage. In the different stages, there's objective as well as subjective marking for the interviews. And part of that will be on your communication skills, your ability to communicate with the examiner or with the role player, whoever it is that's you're doing the interview with. So you do not need a certificate of scoring. You just need to be competent to be able to communicate with us and prove to us you have high enough quality English to be able to study and succeed at our faculty and beyond. Our motto at the university and our way of thinking is that we're not here just to teach you medicine. We're here to teach you. University is about life education. So we want to, our aim is to help you achieve the maximum of your potential, not just your potential at medical school, but life beyond. So we'll teach you the skills to study. We're not going to spoon feed you all the information like at high school. We'll teach you how to study. We'll expect you to go and do your own studying. And we'll train you with the skills with which you could succeed throughout your life.
Okay. Then the next question is by Hakim. He's interested to know about the medical entrance examination. Depending on what other factors are the students accepted and how many are them approximately accepted after they've passed the entrance exam?
So as we mentioned earlier, we have for medicine, we have approximately 150 places available in the first year. For dentistry, it's approximately 40 places available in the first year. We have in medicine, about 9-to-1 applicants per place available. In dentistry, it's about 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 applicants per one place available for dentistry. If you pass our entrance exam, the admissions procedure, I want to be specific, it's not just the written exam, the personal statement, the interviews. If you pass our admissions procedure and we offer you a place, then it's not conditional. The only condition is you complete your high school education, as we mentioned earlier. So providing you complete your high school education, get your visa, and get the offer from us, then you have a place at our medical school. The level of the admissions procedure is set so that it will filter to get kind of that amount of students. So if you make it through, you've done really, really well. It's not easy. It's really not easy. But just because it's not easy doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Okay, then we have a couple questions about the admitted students. For example, Doyun wants to know around what percentage of admitted students graduate successfully. If a student fails any of the exams during the course, are there any reset exams available?
Brilliant questions. So, as I mentioned before, the admissions procedure is a filtration procedure. It's there. We will only offer you a place if we believe that you will be able to pass throughout our medical school and be successful beyond. We will not offer you a place if we do not believe that you'll be able to be successful. It doesn't make sense. We do not want to lose not even one student, because it's a waste of your time, your money, it's a waste of our time and our money. You know, you'll be doing human cadaveric dissections in the first year. So you'll be doing anatomical dissections on humans, on cadavers, human cadavers, people who have passed away, who've donated their body to science and research. This is unbelievably expensive for the preparation, for everything else involved with it. So if we were to just admit you to kick you out, it makes absolutely no sense. It'll be a loss-making industry for us. And in fact, the ideal for us, if we look at from the finance of the faculty side, is that if you drop out in the first year, we kick you out at the end of the first year, we've lost 5 years of income, which we should have had for you, because that place is now empty. So we want you to pass. We want you to succeed. But we are not going to pass your exams for you, and we will not allow you to pass in our name unless you've done the work, unless you prove yourself. So please don't come thinking it's easy. Please, when you graduate, so when you get offered and you start with us, you're going to have a lot of fun in Prague. Prague is a city where it's Bohemia, it's the capital of Bohemia. So you can do anything, you can see anything, experience everything. Don't let that temptation take you away from your studying. You must study from day one consistently throughout the year. The exams are difficult. They're not easy. Throughout all 6 years of your medical school, you're going to have literally hundreds of exams. You'll be a professional exam taker. What's really important, and what I love about this university, and I was a senior lecturer at UCL, graduate King's College and other places. So what I love about this university is that every single subject, every single exam ends in a viva, in an oral exam. Why is that important? I've been a doctor for 20 years almost. And in those 20 years, never once has a patient come to me and said, Dr. Brisman, my problem, could you write me an essay about it? 2 slides, that's enough. It's never happened, not once. So for those schools which still require essays, short answers, long answers as part of their examination system, that's a really antiquated system, a way of doing things. Every single patient encounter that I have, whether it's in outpatients, whether it's on the wards, whenever I'm meeting a patient, they examine me not in an essay of writing, they examine me verbally. And it's not a fair examination because I like my patients to have a loved one, a carer with them, as support for them. I'll maybe have a nurse in the room with me. I'll maybe have some junior doctors and some students in the room with me. So there is an audience of people watching and listening to this patient examining me, asking me to explain to them in an understandable, empathic manner what their problem is and how they can resolve it. And it gets even more unfair because they might not just ask me about the diagnosis that they've come in with, which I could, prepare just before they come in. They could ask me about anything and everything, and I have to be ready to give them the correct answers for that. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So by having oral exams at the end of every single subject, at every single exam, means that you're practicing for everyday life, for real life after graduation. It also means you're practicing your interview skills. And our students, by and large, do extremely well with their interviews because they've had this oral exam practice. However, because the exams are difficult, and I remember pathology in your 3rd year, pathology, you have to perform an autopsy. Then you get a random slide from anywhere in the body. You have to know the staining and the pathology, the location of what it is in the slide. Then you have a multiple choice exam. And once you pass all those points, then you'll have the oral exam. Because the exams are not easy, you get the retakes of an exam in any one academic year. What I mean by that, we have 2 semesters, winter semester, summer semester. The winter semester ends at the end of January, and you have February as an exam month, where there are numerous dates available for you to take your exams. And this differs again from most places in the world, because unlike when I was at King's College in London, in my finals from dentistry, I would have 2 different finals on the same day in 2 different locations in London. I had no choice. I had to go there, take them, be done, and that's it. In Prague, in our faculty, the first faculty of medicine, we want to also teach you other skills, life skills. And one of those is setting deadlines and working to them. So within reason, you will have the ability to choose when you take your exam. By that, I mean, during the exam period, your professors will publish online on the student information system a number of dates. And you can choose which one you sign up to. But you have to plan your timing well and well in advance, because the exam dates, the numbers of exam dates will be during the exam period. So end of the first semester is January, the exam period of February. End of the summer semester is the end of May, and the exam period is June. So during February, during June, there will be published a large number of dates where you'll have a chance to do at least your first attempt and hopefully pass. If you're not successful, you should have time for a second attempt if you do your timings correct. If you're not able to pass on your first retake, theoretically in that academic year, you can have a third
Yes, hello.
Does that answer most questions?
Oh, okay, fine. I think your voice is stuck. Okay, we can take the last question.
Yes.
Zara, can you go ahead, please?
Okay, so let's take the last question now by Doyun again. They want to know about the requirements for the person statement and what is the word character limit and what exactly do you want to see from the person statement?
The personal statement is your chance to sell yourself. It's your chance to show us why we should be choosing you over the next 10 applicants. It's your chance to tell us about your experience, your work experience you've done, your understanding of medicinal dentistry, your leadership skills, your charity work that you've done, the Olympic gold medals that you won. It's that chance to really sell yourself to us and to let us know that you are genuinely interested in our faculty, that you know about Charles University, you know about the First Faculty of Medicine, you know some of the wonderful names, wonderful things, the people that have worked here, the Nobel Prize laureates, like there's the guy who created the contact lenses. There is all sorts of wonderful people, the Corrie cycle. There is, I mean, there's numerous people who worked here. In fact, I was taught when I was a student here by Professor Loider from histology, who was a 3 times Nobel Prize nominee. So it's your chance to let us that you've done investigation, that we are your first choice, the faculty, that you are genuinely interested in us, and that why we should choose you above the next 9, 10 applicants. Its maximum limit is 1 side of A4. I think it is, and again, Mr. Nicola is going to correct me if I'm being wrong here. There is an online form or something which you have to complete, and it's limited within that side. I think it's 400 words, approximately, maximum 1 side of A4.
Yes, I think
Is that correct, Mr. Nicola?
yes, I think also you have to explain that why do you want to become a doctor? The most important thing, what attracts you to become a doctor, and what do you expect to become a doctor, and what will you do after completing your medical course also. No, it's not like that you said I want to become a doctor, just to earn money or this one. No, you should have the right answer for this also. No.
Right.
Be honest though, be truthful. I don't expect you to know what specialty you want to do when you graduate. I didn't know what specialty I wanted to do until I graduated. I knew I wanted to be a surgeon, but not what type of surgeon until, in fact, years after I graduated. We want to know, what's your reasons for choosing medicine, definitely. If it is because you want to get rich, that's great that you put it down. Wrong specialty to choose. I wouldn't choose medicine. I'll choose IT or law or other some other things, accounting, economy. But be honest, be open with us, be interesting. Do not copy. Do not ChatGPT. It'll be put through all the software to check for plagiarism. It'll be checked for anti-ChatGPT and all those things. But we want to know about you.
All right. Thank you very much for that answer as well. This is where we will be ending our Q&A session now. We've answered more than 120 questions. If there was anything that was missed, students, then you can always get in touch with us by email or phone.
Okay. So
our contact
you very
details, our
Yes,
contact
yes.
details are given in the chat, so you can access us from there. And this is where we will be ending the webinar as well. Thank you very much, Dr. Brisman and Ms. Zuzana as well joining us.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very much
much, Dr.
for
Brisman.
coming and advising.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rosanna, and thank you very much all the students for just joining us. Hope to see some of you soon in Charles University, right? Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.